inflation is at a 31-year high, which means prices are going up and your money is worth less. Will prices keep rising, and can Democrats stay in power if they do? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Now, before I face the craziness of each new day, I like to eat a good breakfast. And this episode is sponsored by one of the best, Magic Spoon. It's high protein, gluten-free, and low carb. Tastes great too. I'll tell you more at the end. So, unless you've been living under a rock for the past several months, you've probably noticed prices are rising. And if you have been living under a rock, the rent on your rock just went up. Welcome to inflation. Inflation affects a lot of things, including your paycheck, what you can buy, and the money in your savings account. Inflation is why the Dollar Tree is now the $2 tree. And the price of a gumball has gone from just 1 cent in 1975 to 25 cents today. Last week, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released data that showed prices for a wide range of goods increased an average of 6.2% over the last year. That's the highest price increase we've seen in 31 years. The last time we saw prices go up this much, the internet didn't even exist. I had to do this show at my parents' kitchen table. For some reason, they weren't interested in my trenchant economic analysis. Back to inflation. 6.2% inflation is a lot higher than a lot of economists were expecting to see. And it's definitely higher than the Federal Reserve likes to see. I'll get to that in a bit. But first, 6.2% is only an average price increase. Some things got hit much harder. Let's take a look at food costs. Overall, food prices increased 5.3% compared to last October, but meat products went up the most, like beef, eggs, pork, and fresh seafood. And yes, seafood is the meat of the sea. Like many industries, food production was affected by the labor shortage, which means they had to pay higher wages, which means their costs go up, and they pass those costs onto you, the consumer, with higher prices. And another cause for the high food prices is one of the biggest drivers of inflation: gas prices. Gas prices have risen almost 50% since last October. If you remember the crazy cheap gas prices during the pandemic, that shouldn't surprise you. I won't go into this too much because we did a whole episode on why gas prices are so high. But as you can see, gas prices have risen the highest of all the categories in the Consumer Price Index, which is used to measure inflation. Because gas is needed to deliver goods from producers to stores to customers, an increase in the price of gas raises the price of almost everything we buy, which is why I only buy goods delivered by Bald Eagle. It's the most patriotic way to shop. And my Amazon package should be here it's migrating south for the winter. There are a few kinks to work out. Anyway, high prices aren't just affecting gas for your car. Other kinds of fuel costs more than they did a year ago as well. Electricity rose 6.5% year over year. Propane, kerosene, and firewood rose 35%. And heating oil rose over 59%. So I suggest you buy your loved ones warm socks this Christmas because they're going to be turning down their thermostats. I'm looking at you, Uncle Tony. Besides keeping their feet warm, socks are also a great revenge gift because no one is ever really happy to get socks for Christmas. Not only are gas prices way up, so is the cost of cars. New car prices rose almost 10% since last year, while used cars and trucks were up 25%. Used cars went up because of a shortage of new cars, and the shortage of new cars was caused by a shortage of microchips.
When the pandemic hammered auto sales last year, top chip makers shifted capacity away from car makers to gadget makers, resulting in a critical shortage of car chips that's been called Chipageddon.
That's right, Chipageddon, which sounds like what happens at my house when I run out of Doritos. Or my Chippendale Rescue Rangers fanfiction. Chipageddon left some car manufacturers with cars they had made but couldn't sell because they didn't have microchips for them. So with the shortage of new cars, more people turned to used cars. But the bigger problem here is that they should have called this fiasco Carmageddon. That's clearly the better name. This is why you watch America Uncovered instead of CNN. And after the break, we'll talk about one of the biggest drivers of inflation: printing money. Welcome back. We've talked in previous episodes about all of the supply chain issues and the labor shortage issues, all of which are contributing to inflation because there's not enough supply for all our demand. But there's another factor that's driving inflation, and that's government spending. Remember when Congress passed all those bills for pandemic relief, costing a combined $5.9 trillion? Well, the government didn't just have that kind of money lying around, so what did it do? It found a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, of course. Think of the gold as U.S. currency. Currency that just magically appears because leprechauns needed to pay for their unlucky clover relief program. We've talked in a previous episode about how the Federal Reserve creates money from thin air, so I'll spare you the details. But suffice it to say, our leprechauns have found lots of pots of gold over the last 2 years. And while the Fed likes to claim printing money doesn't cause inflation, that's a lie. It does cause inflation. It's just not always obvious at first, because sometimes the things that get more expensive aren't consumer goods, things like real estate. So a combination of money printing and a host of other factors have also contributed to inflation, which means the value of your money has gone down 6.2% over the past year. The Fed wants there to be inflation, just not as much inflation as we're seeing now. Their target is 2% annual inflation. They believe a little bit of inflation isn't a problem if wages also rise at the same time. But when wages don't keep up, that makes people mad. Like over the past year, when hourly worker wages rose, but only 4.9% compared to last year. With the cost of goods rising 6.2%, workers' real wages effectively went down 1.3%. Now the question is, how long are prices going to keep rising? The answer to that may depend partly on you. I'll tell you how after the break. Welcome back. There has been a lot of speculation about how much longer this high inflation is going to last. And part of that has to do with you. If you think inflation is going to continue long term, you may ask your boss for a raise to keep up with rising prices. And if you get that raise, well, good for you, but not so good for the larger economy. Usually when companies pay workers more, they pass on that extra cost by charging more, which hurts consumers. Economists call this wage-ageddon. Okay, I call it wage-ageddon. Economists call it the wage price spiral, which makes more sense but sounds totally boring. This is why economists never get invited to parties. No, Lewis, no one wants to hear about the sunk cost fallacy. But the wage price spiral is one reason President Biden and other government officials are doing everything they can to reassure people that this inflationary period is only temporary.
We also know that as our economy has come roaring back, we've seen some price increases. Some folks have raised worries that this could be a sign of persistent inflation. But that's not our view. Our experts believe, and the data shows, that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary.
And lots of prices are being affected by supply-side constrictions. We expect that those will abate, that they'll lessen, and over time inflation will come back down. Exactly when that will happen is not possible to say, but I would say we should be seeing some relief in coming months and over the course of the first half of next year.
The other reason Biden is worried is because it could affect his job approval ratings, which are at record lows. According to the data site 538, which compiles multiple polls, more people disapprove of Joe Biden than approve of him. Joe Biden is now the least popular president America has ever had since Donald Trump. In one Economist YouGov poll taken earlier this month, 61% of Biden voters and 78% of Trump voters said they thought the economy is very important. If people think Biden or the Democrats can't get the economy back on track, it could spell trouble for Democrats in upcoming elections. Biden has been working on getting the oil cartel, OPEC Plus, to lower prices by increasing output. But so far that hasn't worked. Getting prices down is going to be essential to taming the economy, and he knows it. And since Biden doesn't want to increase oil drilling or fracking in the U.S., he's got to get that oil from somewhere. 78% of respondents in one poll said they were very dissatisfied with gas prices, and only 5% said they were satisfied. I'm guessing that 5% are people who own Teslas. But Biden's real push to get the economy on track has some people scratching their heads. He wants to increase government spending through his Build Back Better social spending bill. But one of the main reasons Senator Joe Manchin is refusing to support Biden's Build Back Better bill is because of its potential effect on inflation. He tweeted that record inflation to the American people is not transitory and is instead getting worse. From the grocery store to the gas pump, Americans know the inflation tax is real, and D.C. can no longer ignore the economic pain Americans feel every day. Manchin is a Democrat and holds a key vote to getting the Build Back Better bill passed in the Senate and eventually becoming law. So the Democrats have come up with a great new plan to fight inflation. Actually, it's the same plan, but they're going to rebrand it, which is why Democrats are now saying the Build Back Better plan will fight inflation because it would lower the cost of prescription drugs, childcare, and overall expenses related to raising families. Okay, sure, if the bill passes, it may eventually do that, but it's not going to affect the inflation we're seeing now. But Democrats better hope this rebranding works because otherwise they're going to be facing Election-ageddon. And this episode is sponsored by Magic Spoon. I love Magic Spoon because it tastes amazing. Your inner child will love it, and so will your outer adult. It's got 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And it's only 140 calories. My favorite flavor is the fruity one, but they also have a bunch of other really good ones like peanut butter, frosted, cocoa, and a bunch more. Matt, did you order the other ones? Yes! Cinnamon, maple waffle, cookies and cream, blueberry. Oh my gosh, this is like eating Saturday morning cartoons. Look, if you're on a keto diet, Magic Spoon is perfect. But even if you're not, you should definitely try Magic Spoon. I think Magic Spoon does a really good job of balancing being healthy while also being super delicious. And until November 29th, Magic Spoon is having a special Black Friday sale. It's their best offer yet. If you click the link below, you can get 20% off your entire order. You can build your very own 4-pack box and use my code UNCOVEREDBF for 20% off. The link is below. So make your own variety pack and try it today. Plus, Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Also, for my Canadian and British fans, Magic Spoon is now also shipping to Canada and the UK. So click the link below and use the code UNCOVEREDBF or go to magicspoon.com/uncoveredbf and get 20% off now. When there's this much inflation, it's a great deal. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.